It is important to evacuate the scene of the crime to preserve the scene with minimal contamination and disturbance of physical evidence. Establishing a common approach path is important because the designated route into and out of a crime scene is designated in order to minimize disturbance of the surrounding area. Investigators wear gloves, goggles, face masks, hair covering or hairnet is needed to prevent hair from getting mixed up in the crime scene evidence.
Right here, we're going to put an evidence marker because this is the high heel that the murderer was wearing. Right here, we have a pool of blood and we have footprints from the high heel that is over here, so we're going to place another evidence marker. And right over here, we have 2 bullet casings from the gun that is over there, so we're going to put one evidence marker right here with the 1 bullet, another one with the other bullet, and another one with the gun that was used for the murder.
The photographer's job when arriving on scene is to take pictures of physical and trace evidence. When photographing evidence, the crime scene photographer wants to get close-ups, mid-ranges, and overalls. The close-ups allow the evidence to be seen clearly and allows you to capture anything that may be on the object you're photographing. The overalls allow the evidence to be seen in general conditions and what was around it after the assailant flees the scene. Photographs should be taken directly at right angles, eliminating probable distant distortions for clear visualization when presenting evidence in court. These photos allow for the prosecutors to recreate the crime scene when prosecuting the defendant in court. Measurements play a fundamental role in forensic activities, especially in criminal justice. Guilt, innocence, and the severity of a sentence do often depend upon the results of measurements.
Liquid blood evidence is generally collected from blood pools but can be collected off of clothing as well, using a gauze pad or sterile cotton cloth. Once a sample is collected, it must be refrigerated or frozen and brought directly to the lab as quickly as possible. The sample must be first dried thoroughly at room temperature. It is important to get the sample to the lab as quickly as possible because after 48 hours, the sample might be useless. Preserved evidence can help solve closed cases and exonerate the innocent. In the pursuit of a criminal case, evidence is the foundation upon which both sides build their respective arguments. From crime scene to forensic laboratory to courtroom, all evidence must be identified, inventoried, and secured to preserve its integrity. If evidence is not properly preserved prior to collection, it may be contaminated or destroyed. If evidence is not properly preserved and stored prior to forensic analysis or testing, it may deteriorate, destroying or devaluating it as a source of information. It is important that the investigator tags and marks each item of evidence so that he or she will be able to easily identify those items at a later date.